Good evening, everyone. I'm your host, comedian, magician, Danny Whitson. But it's all tricks aside, because tonight we're turning the paranormal into the normal. Join me as we explore the gray areas of reality. We're going to talk all things paranormal, UFOs, ghosts, cryptids, and aliens, and see how it's all connected. This podcast is brought to you by the Experiencer Support Association, and we are live. So if you're an experiencer yourself, or you're just plain nosy, be sure to send me your question and subscribe to the podcast. Now, get ready, because it's going to get deep. No, really, we're going to go way out there, because this is Beyond the Tinfoil Hat. What's happening, my paranormal junkies? Welcome to Beyond the Tinfoil Hat, and I'm your host, comedian, magician, Danny Whitson. All right, guys, I tell you what, we got a really cool announcement for all you Patreon supporters out there at Patreon/Heed the World. Right now, our paying members get to see an awesome article that Ryan Stacy just now released. Actually, I think it's coming out tomorrow, but you don't want to miss it. It's a big one, okay? So our paying members on Patreon/Heed the World, this is an article just for you. And if you guys have not made it over to Patreon yet to put some love out there for us, be sure to do. Keep in mind, everything goes towards the podcast and goes towards TESA and everything that Ryan is involved with. Now, let's get down to the good stuff. Tonight's guest, all right, actually is a dear friend of mine. She's a very funny stand-up comedian, but also a very talented speaker of the stars, truth teller, tarot card reader. Let's welcome Vanessa Claire.
Hi.
What's happening,
Hi, Dan.
Vanessa?
Not much. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. I tell you what, if you don't mind, like I said, I gave you a little intro there, but would you let the viewers and the listeners know a little bit more about you?
So, first of all, I'm a mother of three, and I read tarot. I've been reading tarot since 2018. Stand-up comedian. I'm a professional cosmetologist. Work in the cannabis industry as well, and I'm also a medium. And that's how I do all this tarot stuff, is with the medium stuff. Like, I get messages, and it won't stop until I say it. So I try and make it all blend together.
That was so, I remember, I guess it was back during COVID, right? Was it the COVID years? the COVID time. And I remember you would go live on Facebook and, you know, places, and you would do your tarot readings, and they were so cool, you know, and you were just on the money with it. And it wasn't like, no offense to any other people out there who read the cards, but Vanessa's very entertaining and animated when she does her stuff. So you're kind of like zoned in, you know.
Yeah.
So
Get in the
I
zone.
really enjoyed that.
Thank you.
Okay, so what got you into tarot reading? Where did that start for you?
You know what? It's one of those things that just kind of fell into my lap. Like I was gifted a tarot deck, and my friends gave me a tarot deck. And as soon as I started looking at it, I just kind of got it and I understood it. And like I had to teach myself how to, like, what all the cards meant, but I just fell in love with it. And then when I started reading and just I get in a zone and I look up, and the looks on people's faces is, I'm like, maybe I should do this, you know, like maybe there's something here, you know? So
it just started out as something that you just kind of, you know, you felt a connection with, and you started doing it, and boom.
Right. Like I wasn't searching to do tarot. I was more into like personality traits, you know, I like Myers-Briggs, you know, there's 16 different types of personalities and everything. And I was getting into that. And then I got into the zodiac stuff, and I noticed how it's basically the same thing, even though Myers-Briggs people and zodiac people do not agree, but I see the similarities in it. And then it kind of, I was like, oh, it's all like spicy psychology, you know? Yeah, that's really what it is. So yeah.
It's like exactly. It's like one of those non-boring, I don't know, doer or you know those tests that HR always make you take. You know, it's like, what group do I belong in? I guess it is the Myers-Briggs kind of thing. You know.
Yeah. So it's
Well, astrology is, dude. First of all, astrology has become like so popular now, dude. It's like, I mean, it's not, I mean, back in the day, I mean, it was like something kind of cool that you read in the paper and you put down, you know, but now, I mean, it's like really serious. It's a big deal now, you know?
It is. Hold on one second. Excuse me 1 second.
Gotcha. Guys, Vanessa's also a superhero. She's like Spider-Man. She's back. She saved a cat or something.
I apologize. I'm a mother too, and my daughter just opened up her door, and all I could hear was her TV.
You said a mother of three.
To reiterate, what did we? Sorry, back. What was the question?
We're talking about how, like, astrology, how it's everywhere, how popular it is now. Crazy how it's blowing up.
It is blowing up, and the thing, a lot of people tend to blame everything on zodiacs, and you know, I burn this house down, I'm such an Aries kind of shit, you know, and it can be used as a crutch. But there also are things that everyone, like a Capricorn, there's a bunch of different types of Capricorns. You're a Capricorn, aren't you? Yeah, you're a Capricorn. There's like the CEO Capricorn, where they're down to business and they can make money, and they know how to get things, they're organized, you know, spreadsheets, you know, and it's kind of like when you have a bunch of kids, right? And you got that one kid that fucks up, and whenever they fuck up, you're like, you know, that's not my kid, that's her kid, you know. Like, it's the same thing with zodiacs, you know. Everybody takes their good personalities, they're like, yeah, that's me, unless if it's bad and they're like, fuck zodiacs. it's the same thing. But there are a lot of personality traits I just can't deny that are pretty spot on. Like, I can usually tell what your zodiac is by how you're acting, like.
Now, well, whenever you're doing like the readings with your tarot card, because one thing, like, you know, that's a big belief here, especially here with the podcast, is, you know, we talk a lot of paranormal stuff, and also how a lot of things are connected through consciousness, you know, like everything, you know. Well, I'm a believer that, you know, the two worlds that exist, you know, there's this hard world right here, and then there's a spiritual conscious world that we're all connected in somehow, and that's where a lot of things take place that we can't explain. Now, do you think sometimes whenever you're doing your tarot card reading that you may be channeling into, you know, kind of that consciousness level.
Yes, like I have to be. There has to be. There's no way I can know half of the things that I'm told and that I see, and that there's no way. Like I have to. You have to chant. Like I'll black out too. Sometimes I'll be reading, and I'll start doing the reading, and I'll just be talking, and then by the time I'm done, I'm like, "What the hell just happened?" I'll black out, and then I'll go back and listen to it, and I don't even remember saying half of that stuff. That's channeling, you know.
See,
So
that's so weird. That's
it's the weirdest thing. Like it took me a while to get used to it.
So do you think it's someone talking through you, or do you think it's you, another extension of you, or?
So I believe what you believe. Like I believe that there are realms on top of realms on top of realms on top of realms, and like there's another one that's sitting right on top of us that we can't see, but we can sense, you know. And it kind of goes with thought transfer. You know, have you ever heard of that? Where like you kind of pick up what people are thinking.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm in touch with that. And I feel like I also have a couple spirit guides too, because they're constant voices that are the same. And I feel like people call them spirit guides, so that's what I'll call them. But I feel like it's just something that's connected to me that like, and there's a couple different ones of them, and they're not here, so they got to be there, you know. So, and
That's cool. So does that
half of
happen
it I can't even
time?
explain. It just happens, you know. So.
Would you say like spirit guides is something that you interact with every time you give a reading, or is it just different times than others?
No, it's every time. They're different voices. When I explain how I do tarot, I don't like to very often because it kind of sounds schizophrenic.
Oh,
it's like I hear the voices.
Well, this is Beyond the Tinfoil Hat,
No,
girl. So hey, get weird.
I know,
weird.
but that's what happens. Like I'll hear different voices. They're usually different nationalities too. And when like I have an Asian woman, I have a Black woman, there's a man, there's one that's in my own voice. There's another one that repeats itself consistently, and when that one comes up, that's a message from spirit, and if I don't say it, it won't stop.
Wow.
So like there's different tones. It took me a while to get used to them all, but they're consistent, you know. They're different tones and different voices, and it gives me an energy. They all hold an energy. Like if one of them's talking, like if the guy is talking, it's a stern energy. So that means that whatever I'm reading in my tarot cards, it's in a sterner, and it's not a silly situation. It's a stern situation, you know? And so I have to like get that out to them without sounding crazy, you know? But
now, okay, first of all, shout out. Okay, quick shout out to Chris. You hear that? It was an Asian woman. Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I do. She also has a flip flop. It's fucking hilarious. She has a flip flop and she gets mad. Like
that would definitely be an Asian woman. I'm married to one, and that's that's definitely a thing. The
it's real.
So, okay, well, what is a reading? Have you ever been given a reading and it just freaked you out? Did you have a story, something that to where it was going? I mean, have you ever, like, I don't even know if I want to keep going with this.
Yes. It usually readings go smoothly. There was only one that freaked me the fuck out and I had to stop. It was when I really didn't know too much about reading, and I was more of a medium, right? It was more of a mediumship thing. And I was doing things online with my friends and doing readings online. And one of my friends was in an area where there's a lot of war going on. And I was told for him to light a candle. So he lit a candle. And as soon as he lit a candle, my entire house filled up with people, like ghosts. Like they're not. And it was packed. It was like it was packed full of people. And they weren't. I could tell they weren't the greatest of people, but they weren't there to harm me. They were just there, right? And I was like, maybe we shouldn't do this anymore. And I want these people out of here. It was the weirdest thing that happened. It was my son, who was 3 years old at the time, wakes up out of a sound sleep, comes running into me crying. He's like, who are all these people in the house? I was like, oh my gosh, nope, this is done. Like, I had to take a long break after that because
Wow.
that was too much. I was like, okay, I'm not tapped here. You know what I mean? Like, he's seeing this shit too. Like, wasn't cool.
That is freaky. Well, I tell you what, we've got a question here for you. And like always, first of all, big shout out to Live Light. She's like the goat with questions on this podcast.
Shout out to the goat.
With the best questions ever, Live Light. We love her. It says, welcome, Vanessa. In regards to your interdimensional entities, do you have these presents talk to you outside of tarot readings?
So not usually. Certain ones do, like the Asian woman and the black lady and the man, and they don't usually they only come up during tarot readings usually. The ones that repeat themselves, those are the ones that will just attach to me. And like, so I'll be walking through a store or something like that, and I'll just hear it roll, and it'll keep on saying something that's like completely irrelevant to me. It makes no sense, but I'll be like, kind of like, have you ever seen that Teresa Caputo chick, where she just is like, I heard something, I gotta go tell him. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. And I have to tell him. So that stuff happens outside of tarot reading, and then it's like the characters are in the tarot, which is, I don't know why, but
wow, that's
how it comes out.
So it's like, as you do it's the different characters you said that's in the tarot in the reading.
Yeah.
Cool. That is so crazy. Crazy in a good way. You know how you mentioned it sounds schizophrenic, you know? And this is something that I was thinking about. And I now granted, I don't know a lot of people who have schizophrenia, and it is a serious disease, and I don't wish it upon anybody.
No.
The illness, but it's also one of these things that I mean, especially with anything with the brain, we don't fully understand. I've always wondered this, that because everybody every now and then has had some type of psychic phenomenon happen, like you've thought about something and it's happened, or and I think other people like you are more talented or more in tune with this ability than others. But it always makes me wonder, like, people who do suffer from schizophrenia may just have this situation or this power, but they just can't control it. They may have this access to this other realm, other dimension, other reality that really does exist, but they just can't control it. Unfortunate for them, unlike other people who can control it somewhat.
Right. I think that's I wouldn't dismiss that as being something that might be true, because you think about it, like, they see, I mean, I know it's the brain, so I'm not a neurologist. I don't know how that works, and I'm not an expert in schizophrenia.
Yeah.
But like,
I mean, there could be, I mean, to me, it's just, I'm just throwing it out there. It's just something interesting to think about. Well, we got another question. We got another question right here for you, Vanessa. And I hope I get your name right, but Nashaba, I hope I got it right. I apologize if I didn't. But Vanessa, when you feel you're being visited, do you try to invite a conversation or be friends with it? Interesting.
No. I no, because they'll attach themselves and they won't go away, and that's weird. I'm not like comfortable with having, I don't know.
You don't want to be constantly.
I don't. It gets to become too much. It really does. Like, it'll affect you while you're driving, while you're late. It's no, thank you. So like, I will pass along the message and I will be nice, but it's just like a stranger. Do you want to be, you don't know this person? You know what I mean? Because sometimes spirits like will disguise themselves, and it's just not an energy that I want to trust and have be around me. And no,
So it's not. So it's not, and I think I got it. It's Nashoba. There we go. Awesome. Thank you for helping me out there. And great question. And feel free to send us some more. But yeah, thank you.
really good question. Freaks me out.
So it's not something that you get on the familiar, like you said, you do get the particular people during the readings, but something else out there, you don't want it to be too attached, because you do have a life. Like I said, you do have a life outside of this.
Yeah, and yes, it affects you in weird small ways that just builds up, that where you're just like, this is enough. Like, because I've had entities attached to me, and they're not bad either. Like, not all of them are bad. They've been fine, but imagine having a voice just repeating in your head over and 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 over. Stupid. Like, I can't do it. So, like, I will pass your message, but.
So, I mean, that's kind of what you do when it does happen. And these are people that you're able to contact, right? I mean, have you ever had to look? I got to look up this total stranger, call them and tell them what's running through my mind, which that could be awkward.
No, usually, okay, so usually I have to be in a close vicinity with the person. Like, the energy picks up and comes to me. Like, I can't. Or I've done it online too. So like through this, like, I could probably start reading you or whatever. And I don't just do it either. Like, I don't just do it. It comes to me,
Gotcha.
So, and also sometimes it's touchy. Not everybody wants to hear that shit. Not everybody believes in this stuff.
Yeah.
So like, I'm just sitting here with all this information. Like,
have you had anybody give you resistance on something that you feel like you needed to tell somebody? Yes.
A long time ago, I worked at a restaurant, and one of my coworkers, her brother was in the military, and he had passed away from suicide or from unliving himself. I apologize. And he attached himself to me, and he wasn't in a good spot. And his sis, he wanted me to tell his sister that, who was my coworker, that he wanted her to have the dogs. That was it. That was the message. Like, he wanted her to have the dogs, but she did not believe in any kind of spiritual or supernatural anything. She actually got really offended by it. She didn't like it. But this entity did not leave me alone. Like, it was following me home. It was messing with my dogs at 3 a.m. They would just start barking, and like, my ex-husband was like, is this thing that you're talking about? You need to tell this girl. So I asked him to tell me something that only she would know, because she ain't gonna believe me. So he told me that they used to drive around and get cases of Bud Light and bags of Snickers, and they would just eat Snickers all night and drink Bud Light. And I was like, all right. So one night I was cooking next to her, and I was like, so if I said Snickers and bags of Snickers and Bud Light, would that mean anything to you? And she just like turned white as a ghost, dropped the spatula, and she was like, how do you know that? And I was like, all right, I'm going to tell you this, and you can't think that I'm crazy. Okay, because how would I know that? Right? I was like, your brother wants you to have the dogs. And she was like, she started crying, and it was crazy. I was like, I don't know how I know that, but because it was a thing with the dogs and his ex, and a whole bunch of details. I didn't need
you were able to crack that shell and get her to open her mind. Now, I'm sure that now she's probably a believer now. So,
she is, yes, she is. Oh, I just got chills.
Well, we've got another question from Nashoba. Let's see. She says, Vanessa, that makes me wonder. Do you feel something around some people? Just know the connection is there. So do you just kind of know that connection is there when you're around these people?
Yeah, I can sense it. I can feel it when people have a presence around them, or you can just, I can tell. I can walk into a room and know if there's, if the place is haunted, like, I just know. It doesn't mean that they're going to come and talk to me or anything. I just know. I can feel it. It's weird. It's an
Is
energy.
that sixth sense? Is that that because I mean I don't get that all the time. Now I feel
Mhm.
like I am and I don't mean this. I don't feel like this is anything spiritually, but I feel like over the years of being an entertainer, as long as I have, I've developed the skill at reading people. You know,
Absolutely.
so I'm pretty good at reading people. But then there is that sixth sense, and every now and then I will have an experience with that. I'll never forget, like Antoinette, she loves to go like to any haunted place, stuff like that. She loves that. That's her thing. And I remember we went to this place. I think it's like Red Bud. I don't even know what the name of this town is, but it's in the middle of nowhere, and it's called the Thomas House. Really cool place. It's you can go there and stay all night. And we actually had this crazy thing happen to us when we got here. When you get there, Vanessa, first of all, it used to be an old hotel back in the Civil War, and people would stay there, and it not much has changed since then either. I mean, it's still
Mhm.
very old, fancy looking, but old. Really cool place, the Thomas House. But anyways, we get up to our room, and we were going to do a ghost hunt, a ghost tour later on that night. But first, you get to your room, you unpack, and then everyone goes downstairs and eats dinner. And then you go on the little investigation and stuff. But anyways, while we're waiting in the room, we're just laying there on the bed, we're tired and looking at our phones. And all of a sudden, I hear horses walking outside. Cluck, 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 cluck. And you know how dumb you get when you think, oh, horses. Let's go look at the horses. So I get up and I look out the window and I don't see any horses. And I'm like, where's the damn horses? And I go over here and I open the window. Horses! Don't see any horses. And I'm like, that's weird, dude, because I know I heard some horses. Anyways, I get back on the bed. I'm sitting there looking at my phone. And then something just tells me to look up. And in this room, it's nothing but paintings of horses.
Creepy.
So weird, dude. So
That's
weird.
creepy.
And the weird thing is the thing I loved about this place is that they even had a book dating all the way back to like I think the early 90s or late 80s where people would record their experiences in that room. So every room that you stayed in, you could write down and record it. So really cool place. But anyways, this is where I was going with all this. Sorry, I always have to tell that story.
No, that's
Uh, the there was something so heavy though when you walked in there. It was a heavy darkness, and I didn't like it. And it's sad because you go there and you want to enjoy your experience, even the paranormal, even having something weird happen. You want to a sense of enjoy. Like that was cool. That was weird as hell, but it was cool. I didn't
it's
get that.
different.
I went there and I was like, God, dude, I want out of here. This is depressing. I'm sad. This
Yeah.
is just deep, heavy. So it was like that sixth sense. There was another something that I was picking up on, some dark, dark shit there, dude. So,
Yeah.
do you get that? I mean, have you ran into something, or somebody who's carrying some type of dark, dark energy like
Oh,
that?
of course I have. Yeah. Um,
Which that
like
can
that
be,
entity with my coworker at Friendly's, his was one of the heavier ones that I've ever experienced. Um, I noticed though with like battlefields, military type stuff, that energy is a whole different energy. That's a different heavy. Have you ever, well, probably not because well, I'm in Vermont. I was gonna say, have you ever been? No. In Vermont we have the Bennington battlefield.
okay.
And it's a big hill and it's got a monument on the top and a huge battle took off there. If you go there, you could hear them. You can hear the cannons going. You can hear them fighting. I'm getting chills again. You can you can you can feel them marching through, you know. And if
Yeah.
you go into like the price chopper in there, and there you could feel them walking through the hall, like the aisles. So it's weird. Like certain stores in Bennington, you could just tell that there's like a military-esque energy that it's
Like
different.
strict, kind of a
Yes.
structured,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
We got another question here for you. Now, Shoba asks, Vanessa, I can tell you pretty much know what someone is going to say before they say it. Am I wrong?
I don't. I'm not other people, and I can't tell you what is going through other people's minds or what they're gonna say or anything. I'm not a psychic, you know. I'm more of a medium. I can feel like I can see that coming. You
Yeah.
know, like.
Well, that'd be pretty
But
helpful with crowd work at a show.
I wish I would be. Yeah, no. If I was psychic, I'd know exactly what to say. I'd be killing it right now. But
Well, I
yeah,
mean, I
no.
would say probably, when you pick up kind of by reading other people's energies and stuff, there's a sense of that, maybe not, exactly what they're going to say, but you're like, well, this person, there could be a fat chance this person breaking off with some negative, the vibe that I'm picking up from this dude.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Reading people.
Here she is. Here Miss Liv Light has dropped in the house here with one of her questions. We've got, you mentioned your son also saw the ghosts in the yard. Do you discuss these experiences with him? Have your other children had experiences? Did you have experiences since childhood? Really good question here.
That is a very good question, Liv. So my son that had the experience and saw all this stuff, he's on the spectrum, and he just thinks it's normal. He doesn't even he's like, what are you talking about? Yeah, that happened, big deal. Like, I could talk to him about it, but I don't think he quite looks at it as being odd or different or anything like that. Like, he doesn't remember the stuff from when he was only like 3 or 4 or something like that. He was little, but stuff like that happens to him normally. So,
So to him, that's just reality to him. That's his world.
Yeah. Like, and I think along with the lines of people who have schizophrenia are maybe connected. I think autistic people too, because I'm on the spectrum as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's just, we just see it differently. I don't know. Maybe it's another part in the brain that like unlatches. We can see something. I don't know. But, but my other kids, not so much, which is interesting. No, they're not. They no interest.
What do the other kids think about, like, with you doing your tarot readings and stuff like that?
My daughter loves it. She thinks it's the coolest thing in the world. She actually gets upset at me if I'm not doing it. So I haven't seen you doing tarot in a while, Mom. Okay. So, yeah, I think that my sons probably think that it's a little weird because they're 15. They're not really. They're like, "Hey, Mom, cool.
Mom's breaking out the cards again."
Yeah, and it's not like I'm doing it in front of them either. It's usually something that I do like when they're in bed, like after they go to sleep. Like, have you ever noticed the lives that I was doing? They're usually at night, like after that. If my kids, because I will be able to see like if like your baby daddy is smoking crack and in a back alley with some hoe named Brenda, like so. And I will just say it, and I won't realize that I'm saying it. I don't want my kids to see that or hear that, so I try not to do it around them.
So now, but Liv also mentioned, did you ever have any of the experiences of the kid? Did you, any of the voices, any of the, maybe the, did you experience any of that when you were little?
Yes, I've always had it, and it just got more intense as I got older. And then I went to the tarot, and it's always happened though. This is just me. This is just how I am. I'm also Cancer. Like, my zodiac sign is Cancer, and Cancers we see dead people. Like, we have an intuitive nature, and I don't know, which is how we are.
So did you ever share any of this, like, with your siblings or your parents or anything that? And were they open to that, or is that something that you were? So, okay, cool. So you had a family that kind of accepted, this kind of stuff.
Yep. And it was interesting too, because my mom was always like accepting of it. She wasn't really like talking about it all the time or anything. But when I started getting into the tarot, like my mother passed away, and I started getting into tarot, and I started being more vocal about like, yeah, like I'm a medium, and this is just it. Like, this is how it is. And I started posting about it online, and my aunt was like, me too. And I was like, wait, what? And she's like, oh yeah, me too. I've been a medium my whole life. I was like, why didn't you tell me? Same reason why I'm not really with my kids. You know, I'm not telling it with my kids either. It's because it gets dark, it gets weird, it gets, you know, so it's just a way of protecting them, I guess, you know. And she was doing the same thing with me, and so.
Well, what is, you know, we talk about how it does get dark and stuff. Can you share with us a story, maybe a reading that you did that just got really, you know, really dark, really bad, maybe?
Well, usually the dark ones have to do with drug addicts, honestly. The ones, because when people come to me for tarot, they're usually in a spot in their life where they're not doing so well. Okay. Remember when I read your tarot cards? Remember that when I read we did a podcast once and I read your tarot cards, and I remember them being like, it was such a good reading. I was like, I never see this, dude. Like everything was like good. Like, when does this happen? That doesn't usually happen, you know? So I get a lot of that. And then when it gets bad is when people come week after week. And like I'll tell people no, and like the stories, I can tell the stories will get dark in the tarot, and they don't want me to start answering specific questions, which I don't do. And like, I don't know, people can spiral with it. Like, I don't have any specific stories, but like one time this guy just kept on coming to me and coming to me and coming to me. And I was like, third time, fourth time, I was like, all right, next time we're not doing this. We're not doing this anymore, because like you need to like start looking elsewhere, get a therapist or do something like that, because this is tarot. This is a game, you know? Next thing I know, he's went off deep end, and, you know, he's in a hospital, you know? So I had to be careful that like I'd taken breaks from tarot because people get so attached to it, and they think that I'm gonna know the answers to all their problems, and, you know, like I'm going to solve their issues. And it's like, it's not how it works, guys. So like when people who are caught up in drugs and depression come, those ones get dark. Like, I don't want to tell you like details of it, but like they get dark and then they can spiral people. And
now
like, I can't do that. I can't be part of that. Like, I'm like, I know.
You don't want something to trigger somebody, you know.
Right.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right.
I mean, I think there is a responsibility on your side to protect people.
You got it. So
now like, you know, with the different cards, now they don't necessarily mean like the death card doesn't mean that you're going to die or these things. You know, like people who aren't familiar with it, you know, sometimes that's something that'll come up, or if they see the card. But
all the time.
But it also just kind of determines about how the cards fall, correct?
Correct. Because so I set up the cards in a grid, and each grid has the past, the present, and the future. That's there's tons of different ways that you can do it. That's just how I do mine. And then what card is on top of another card tells a story. If it's next to it, it tells another story, and you combine the cards, and it kind of like you take the three scenarios and you make a story with it. So using where the cards are placed as a guide. So I will usually pull an oracle card, like one of these, right at the beginning of the reading, and it heads the reading, and it kind of be told to note back at it during the reading, and it's always relevant, you know. So they all tie in. It's like reading a book, really.
Liv's got a question here for you. What's your favorite card?
What's my favorite major arcana? I want to say the Magician. Yeah, Danny. It's the Magician. Yeah, no, it is the Magician. Because it's like it means having all the elements in place to make whatever, to manifest. You know? Yeah. It's mind-blowing shit, am I right?
The magician, yes.
Okay, I didn't do that to stroke your ego, but you're
So
welcome.
what is the magician? What does a magician mean when you pull it out of the deck there?
The magician means like having all the elements, earth, wind, fire, right? You have your manifestation, and if the magician comes up and it's upright, it means that all the elements are coming into place. It's like alchemy, and to create your manifestation.
Okay.
Yeah. And if it's in reverse, usually that means that you have an element that's missing in what you're trying to manifest. And usually that's when I'll look at the cards around it and it'll tell me what is missing. And, yeah.
You kind of you'll build from there. Now,
Right.
so for somebody who is wanting to get into tarot card reading, where do they, I mean, is this is the skill you can learn, or
Of course.
because I mean, I'm sure there's people that can do the tarot card readings, but maybe don't have the visions or the voices pop in there.
Right. Of course. Anyone can learn how to do tarot because there's all the cards, they have their meanings, and it's a way of I don't know, getting that message out. So however the vessel, that's what you're the vessel. So however you relay the message, that's fine. And there are tons of classes that you can take to learn what each card means and how to do the setup. Anybody can learn anything. So you don't, and usually the intuition stuff, that stuff will start coming in naturally. If you're really interested in tarot, and that's like, it's going to happen and it's going to come to you, and it'll, I feel like like we were saying earlier, everyone kind of has this ability for intuition and being able to like know these things. It's how much we pay attention to it and how much we believe it.
God, dude, that is so true.
Yeah.
That is dead money right there, dude. Because I'm a big believer that the more you pay attention to things, like there's things that I used to be cut off from UFOs, and I was like, nah. And then the more and more, and gradually, I got more open, and I had my own experiences. My minds became open. I've had a lot more experiences. Other things happen. I'm like, wow, this is real. There is another world out there that we don't know about. Another quick question, real quick, from Liv. Tarot cards are energetic messages. Tarot cards are energetic message transfers, is what she's asking, like a question. So it's like a energy transfer type message.
Yeah, well, in a way it is, because I have different decks that have different energies. so like this deck is a Banksy, the artist Banksy.
Yeah, I love Banksy.
Yeah. So I have a tarot deck. This is an artsy deck. If I pull from this, it has an energy. And then I have this deck is like the deck of dreams, but I call it my tits and ass deck. Because why? It has that on the, it's a sexual kind of energy. So if I'm drawn to pull from these cards and these decks, it's a whole energy. Like tarot is all in everything. Think of everything in terms of energy, like Nikola Tesla,
Oh yeah.
Everything is energy. So.
Well, totally down with that. And
yeah.
I think he was before his time, literally. But well, that's okay. I think it's cool. Like, people can go, to learn this, if it's something that they do want to learn. And I think you nailed it on the head. The more open you are, and this is what people don't realize, is like you do have people that, and it's not for everybody. Not everybody has to be open. No, but I will tell you, when you do open the windows and you let your brain, your mind air out a little bit, you start to pick up some things out there in the world that you're like, wow, what's going on here? And I mean, personally, I think it makes it makes life a little more interesting. So
it does.
like I didn't even, the same thing like UFOs. I saw a UFO probably about 6-7 months ago. First one I've ever seen in my entire life.
But you did.
I don't know what it was. But damn sure saw it, broad daylight. And I don't think it's not that I was like driving around looking, I just happened to look up, but there's like this connection. The more you're open, the more you are to experience things. I tell you what, this is what we're going to do, Vanessa. I do want to talk to you more about on the medium side of things. But first, we got to get to these messages. Quick shout out to our sponsors. And we'll be right back with Vanessa Claire. And we're going to talk about being a medium. Stay tuned. Maybe I was 2 on the money. 2 on the money.
2. Don't be doing 2 good things. No.
Here we go. Oh, I thought. Give me just a second here. Give me a second here, Vanessa. Well, maybe not. Maybe we'll just keep going. Here we go. Waiting on Chris. I thought we were going to a commercial break at our 45-minute mark, but maybe not. So let's just move right on then. We'll move right on with let's talk mediums. Okay.
Yeah.
So you mentioned you mentioned you had somebody who had unalived themselves.
Yeah.
Give you a message, and you had to go. You feel like you had to talk to somebody. How often do you pick that up?
It used to be all the time.
Okay.
And it's a light switch. For me, at least, I can turn it on and I can turn it off. So back in like the early 2000s and up until my kids were probably about 3 or 4 maybe.
Gotcha.
It was all the time and it was constant. Like I'd walk by someone and I'd be like, geez, like I didn't even know that, you know? But after that whole incident with my son and the house just being filled with entities and stuff, I shut the light switch off, kind of. And I could turn it back on or I could shut it off whenever. But if I'm in the presence of something that really, really wants a message to be given, I can tell. And I will give it permission to give it to me. Like I'm in control of it.
Gotcha.
You know? Yeah. Like, so
okay.
I used to just let it in. Now I'm like a little bit more selective about it.
Okay. Well, what I tell you, now we're actually ready for a commercial break. I apologize, folks. I tell you what, we're going to get up to commercials, come back. And if you don't mind, Vanessa, try to think of some stories or maybe like a particular personalities that have come through that you have talked to. But we'll talk about that right after this break.
Have you ever wondered, or maybe just thought to yourself, if there were others just like you? People with extraordinary abilities, psychogenic advancement, and perhaps unique intuitions. Maybe you just wondered if there were other people who experienced unimaginable, unexplained, or even unusual and paranormal events. Are there people who have more questions, more fears than answers? Well, you're not alone. You've never been alone. We believe you. Sign up for EA today.
Business. It's your property. Your assets are worth protecting. Blacklight Investigative and Surveillance Services specializes in patrolling and inspecting residential or commercial property against fire, theft, vandalism, terrorism, and illegal activity. People and buildings are monitored to prevent crime. Keep your property, your people, and your assets safe from threat. Our elite staff are dual licensed private investigators and security guards. Blacklight Investigative and Surveillance Services. Go to blacklightiss.com.
All right, welcome back to Beyond the Tinfoil Hat. We are here with Vanessa Claire, and we have definitely been keeping the paranormal normal tonight. Right off the bat, we've got a question right here waiting for you. All right. Live Light asks, Vanessa, do you subscribe to the Hermetic philosophy with the universal laws? If so, how do you connect this to your tarot and mediumship work?
Ooh, that's a good one. So universal laws, I do. When I think of universal laws, I think of like Sir Isaac Newton. Okay. He came up with the universal laws, and the Hermetic principles, I don't really know too much about them. Not gonna lie. Not my field of expertise. I do know that universal laws, they've been expanded, I guess, by
well, like with the metaphysics and a lot of stuff out there, you know, when you talk about like the you know, with Sir Isaac Newton, first of all, he was kind of out there because he was into like was it like the stones and the, you know, the crystals and stuff.
He was schizophrenic. He was autistic and schizophrenic.
Exactly. So
he was. I'm just saying.
That's one thing that always, you know, when you have any type of physicist, anybody out there who wants to be a skeptic and crap on the UFO phenomenon, stuff that's going on right now, and I'm like, wait a minute, your fearless leader had his doors wide open.
For real.
Alchemy. Sir Isaac Newton was into alchemy. You know, he was into a lot of these things. So The I think, and also by the way, I want to say Liv's questions, dude. She is so
Killing
good.
it.
She does.
Yeah.
Liv does her damn homework. She I love the way she'll come with some of these questions. I'm like, ha ha, that's a good one. The yeah, we're be expecting good ones from her. And also, we've had great questions all night. Not just Liv, but great
Definitely.
questions all night. But yeah, I mean, connect this to the tarot card and the mediumship. So I don't know. Maybe would you say there's something out there, especially in the other physics realm that we know exists, but is weird as hell, So. There we go. She's out and in. Boom. That was trick number 2, ladies and gentlemen. We made Vanessa.
You're good. Wow.
That boy good. I know. Thank you. She's back. But let me ask you this about on the mediumship thing, because this is where I see dead people. I talk to dead people, and I believe you. Because like I said, as a firm, I'm a firm believer in that, because I feel like I have loved ones that communicate with me. Now I don't necessarily hear a voice or them talking to me, but it's like little hints. Look over here, look over here. And then a form of communication that I pick up. But with you, literally, you will hear these people talking to you. Have you ever had anybody, a loved one, somebody that, like you did mention your mother passed away? Have you had any experience like that?
It's weird because I always feel like she's around. Not all the time, that's creepy, but sometimes I just know she's like sitting there. It's like her energy is there. It's not like it's constant though. Recently my aunt passed away. And I don't usually see things. Like sometimes I do, it can happen, but it's very rare for me to see things. And I was sitting right here, and then I saw her go under my coffee table. And I was like, why is this woman, like, that was the creepiest thing. She went under my coffee table. So I looked under my coffee table, and there was a book that she used to read to me when I was little, it's called Little Bear. And I was like, how the hell did it, like, my daughter must have put it there, but I never knew that it was there. I didn't see that it was there. And like, that's what she used to call me. And then I saw her and she went right under. It was so freaking weird. But yeah, they do sometimes. One time I actually went to a medium in Vermont. I went and saw a medium. And when I went to that medium, my grandmother, my grandfather, my aunt, and my 2 uncles like joined me, and it was weird. I always find it so strange because I'm like, all right, they're here. Like,
so
they
while
came
you
with
were
me
there, they were you could, I mean, were they talking to you or?
Yeah. Oh, the lady and the medium too. She picked up right up on it. She was like, "There's a whole family here," and I was like, "It's me, man!" Like, yeah. It was.
Gosh, that's hilarious, dude.
Yeah.
You brought the whole family.
Yeah. I feel like they're also always there, but in and out, but it's family. It's a soul link connection, it's energetic ties. So
that is so cool. That is so cool.
Yeah.
Now, other than the and now you did talk about how sometimes like you kind of want to shut them off. You don't want to entertain some things out there. Do you ever feel like there's any like evil spirits?
Yeah. Of course there are. There always are. You asked me to think about like any specific instances. Yeah, of course. So I was reading tarot for one of my clients, and his close friend passed away, and he was a biker. And my friend is also, I want to say he's a medium. He just knows things. He says the craziest things that I don't even know how he knows about me, so like he's kind of got a mediumship kind of feeling too. And he's telling me about it. And as he's telling me about it, I can feel this guy attaching to me. I'm like, great. I went to sleep that night, and I woke up in sleep paralysis. And I woke up and this guy, like, it's like his energy, I knew it was him, but it was like a black, like when you in sleep paralysis, you see monsters and shit. It was that, but I knew it was him. Okay. He folded my bed in half with me in it, and my feet were right up by my head. And it was in that first like groggy stage. And as soon as I came out of that groggy stage and fully woke up, everything went back to normal. And it like unfolded and everything. And he did the monster thing, like disappeared in smoke. It was crazy. But I feel like that happened because like we were talking, and that was a dark entity, and it like got in it, I don't know why or how, but
and
that was one of the darker things.
That's a common thing that'll happen a lot of times. Like, and I always find this interesting, all the people that I've talked to, and who have talked about sleep paralysis, it seems like it's always two things. It's always the alien abductions, which people all have the same experience. And then there's the demon. There's the demon on your chest, the demon, the evil. So it's one of those two things. And whenever people talk about sleep paralysis, I don't think that is an explanation for what they are experiencing. I think the sleep paralysis is what's happening in this physical world here, if you were to explain it by science. But on the consciousness level of what's happening in this other spiritual world that we also exist in, something else is happening, So just like what you experienced, with a dark force, doing that, or the alien abductions that happened to other people. Nashoba's got another question here. Let's see what it says. Hi, evil spirits. My father challenged the devil when I was a kid, trying to protect our family. Oh my God, the shit I've seen ever since then. What can I do, Vanessa and Danny? Wow. What can she, any advice?
My best advice is like, you are in control. You have to know that you are in control. Okay. Like I said, it's a light switch with me, and I turn it on and I turn it off, and I don't let them come to me and speak to me unless if I allow it, because I'm in control. And that's a mind over matter thing. It was not always like that for me. It was, I remember I said I let everyone just come up to me and talk to me and do whatever. I had to put a limit on it. With bad entities or good entities or whatever, you have to stand your ground. And some people turn to religion, whatever makes you feel more comfortable. Practice that.
I think and I'm a big believer in this, Nashoba. This is, I think, and I mean, this is kind of cliche, and it's kind of, and this isn't a cop out, but try to be the most producer of positive energy as you possibly can.
Yeah.
And what that will, I mean, that will push the negative and the bad stuff away from you. That will, push those things away. The more positive and good energy and stuff you put out in the universe. And I know it sounds like an easy cop out question, but it really works, and to explain this in other realms. Okay. Basically, if all you do is put garbage out, if you fill your backyard up with dog poop, eventually you're going to step in dog poop. You get what I'm saying? So
smell what I'm stepping in.
Exactly. So, pay attention to, and you probably do. You seem like a very, cheerful, person. So, you put this stuff out there, it kind of, it kind of pushes the bad stuff away from you. Now, I think, and also I think there's something too, we can look you look at old vampire movies, it's like you have to invite the vampire in, and I think the same thing happens to the dark spirits and the dark stuff out there, and now that's not to say bad things do happen to good people. Happens all the time.
It does.
But we're also all humans, and you can have weak moments at times. So, but that would be my advice. That'd be my advice.
Where energy goes or energy flows, that saying, I don't know if I said that right, but So if you're focusing on it, you're going to create more of it. You're going to create more of it. You're going to create more of it. So,
you know, I had something, and you can even break it down like this, and this is like for everybody. I had an incident happen to where actually, you know what, I even tell it, I got a ticket, okay? And I thought the cop was kind of being douchey, a little picky, because you know, I got a ticket for literally, this is all I did. I grabbed my phone off of the it was mounted on the dash. I grabbed it, looked at it, hit send, and put it right back. Literally that quick. Well, the cop saw me do that, and in Tennessee we have a hands-free. You can, and which I get it, because we do see these crazy people on their phone while they're driving. It's terrifying.
Right.
So I totally understand why the law exists. But he pulls me over, and he was like, "Well, Mr. Whitson, I see you got a clean driving record, but I'm going to have to write you a citation." And I'm like, "Why, dude? How about just a warning?" Anyways, long story short, the dude writes me a freaking ticket. Yes, I'm annoyed. And now I've got two options here. I can like be pissed at every cop that I ever see, and put negative energy out there in the world.
Right.
Now personally, do I think he was kind of being douchey? Forgive me. Yeah, I think probably I have a clean driving record. He should have gave me a warning. He made a decision that could have triggered other negative energy out in the world. That was on him. And I could make the choice of letting more negative energy out in the universe. It's up to me. I've got the power to stop it. So that being said, I don't have any hard feelings towards the dude. He was doing his job. There are good cops out there, folks. Don't hate all cops. So be a good person. There we go. So basically, you see what I'm saying there. So I'm taking something negative energy that I could have shot out there and been like, screw the cops. Instead, put something good out there. So you kind of have power.
The last time I got pulled over is funny. The last time I got pulled over, I foresaw that happening. And
you saw it happening before.
I fucking read the future on that one. I had it in my head that because I was driving in my car and like it was like the registration was over, or like I hadn't done it yet. Like, whoops, my bad. And I was driving down the road, and then all of a sudden I just saw a vision of like a cop car on the side of the road, seeing me drive by, and him pulling me over. And then within minutes, that happened. And he was so sweet though. Like we're friends on Facebook now. Like me and this guy were like buddies.
Really?
Yes, because he should have probably like given me a lot more tickets than he did. He gave me tickets and he made me like do everything that I was supposed to do. But I had my dog and he liked my dog and he was like trying to be a nice guy and just pet my dog. My dog just got at me out of like a couple $1,000s worth of tickets, but because there was other things too. But yeah, it ended up being like I ended up getting my car all situated and the cop helped me do it and everything was good. I don't know. It ended up being good. And I didn't get upset about it the whole time. I was like, I saw that happening.
Well, we live in a world where it's so easy to get upset and put that other stuff back out there. And it's just a continuous flow. And we all share the same universe. And if you dirty it up with negative, dirty stuff, the evil, the bad stuff feeds off of it. And, we could go down there big time. Liv's got another good question. I swear. Let's see. Vanessa, do you use any of your tarot leadership experiences in your comedy? You know what? Hey, I told her a long time ago she should be doing this. But go ahead. That's on you, mama. There we go. Answer that question.
So, all right. I want to. I want to so bad. So I was doing comedy usually in the summers. And then recently I did a bunch of shows. And I was doing it heavily. And now I'm doing it like again, like kind of more part-time. And I have my own open mic. So I started an open mic. And I think that would be the perfect place to like try it out, like bring my deck and because it has a table set up and I want to do that. I haven't done it yet, but yes, I want to do that.
I think it would be great.
Maybe this Wednesday I'll do it.
There we go. I think it would be great.
Yeah. I really do. I'm always afraid that I'm gonna freak people out. I don't know. Like, you know, but I gotta just like do it and just do it
Just
because
do
it
it.
is funny. Like it really is.
I mean, you have been, and I've seen you've posted a lot of video. You've been out there. You've been hitting it hard. So
Mhm.
that's great. I would
Yeah.
love to see that though. Great question, Liv. And like I said, I remember asking Vanessa that before. I was like, you should definitely blend that in somehow. It'd be really cool.
Keeps on coming up too this week over and over and over. So
We've got a question from Christy Ann. Is it Houghton, I believe?
Christy.
Houghton. Sorry, I hope I got it right. I'm so bad at that. But thank you so much for your question, Christy. I had a sleepwalking episode when I was at Fort York, an Army base in Toronto. I was following one of the captains, and I walked into a wall. Wow, dude. And I think sleepwalking is like crazy because it's almost like what is it? It's the opposite of sleep paralysis. You're actually it's the reason why sleep paralysis actually happens, to prevent you from doing that, what she just did. But
I didn't know that.
really weird. The walking. So
Could you imagine waking up somewhere else and being like, "What the hell?" Waking up and there's like a whole like sandwich made and something. You're like, you're living alone. And you're like, "What?"
well, there's some really wild stuff, like so she walked into the wall. Now, don't they say also though that you're never supposed to wake somebody who is sleepwalking? Like
That's what I was just thinking. Yeah.
it could.
Did it wake
I
you up?
sleepwalked one time in my whole life,
Yeah.
and I remember I was trying to go outside. I was trying to open the front door. I was dreaming. I was trying to open the front. Then I woke up. But I remember when I was sleepwalking, I was trying to turn the doorknob and I couldn't. I was like, "Good, this won't turn." And I woke up and I was standing there trying to go outside, trying to turn the doorknob to go outside.
What did you feel like when did that scare you? Like,
well, when
did you
I
know?
woke up, I just thought, where the hell am I? I couldn't figure out what the hell I was, what was going on. Then I realized, holy hell, I'm trying to go outside right now. So then I just went back to bed. But yeah, I know what that's like, Christy, to sleepwalk, and the dream is so vivid. Now I wonder, was this like the captain that you were, because she was at the fort. She thought she was, I guess, on a march or something. Man, that is weird. So, have you ever had any sleepwalking? Anything like that happen?
No, I sleep like a log, man. No, I roll in my sleep. I barrel roll. Sometimes I kick my leg. Like other than that, no.
I don't know. Like a lot of people, sleep is one of those interesting things because it's another conscious. It's so weird when you think about it. It's like you go unconscious for hours every day, every night, and then you're back again. It's like it's our on and off switch. Eventually, we turn it off, and it's and that's where a lot of things take place. Now, have you ever had any dreams that you feel like you were learning something while you were dreaming?
So me and dreams, I'm very interested in dreams. I have dreams that predict the future. Like I'll dream something and then it'll unfold the next day within a couple weeks.
So that does kind of give like on the psychic side of things, I guess, right? Like
it trips me out. Yeah, it really does. I think that so Van Gogh used to paint pictures of daytime and nighttime where it's the same thing, but it's a little different. And I like a lot of his paintings are like in the dream state and then reality state, and it's same thing but a little different. I feel like a lot of artists know that like the dream world, the dream dimension is like it's like us but reversed. It's really weird. Okay. And like they paint it in their paintings and they it's all throughout history. So
have you ever had one of those times when you have that dream and you're like, wow, that was weird, and then it happened and you're like, damn it, how come I didn't tell somebody? It's like because now they're not going to believe me, but you're like, God, I wish I would have wrote that down or told somebody ahead of time.
So speaking of writing things down, never remembered that sleep paralysis thing even happened if I wasn't dream journaling that week.
Okay, dream journaling. So that's something that you do.
Not often. What I do every day is I wake up and then I'll ask myself, who was I with? Where was I? And what was I doing? Not in a dream, just those 3 words, and I'll repeat them over and over again. And then I'll go about doing my coffee, bathroom, whatever. And then my dream will start coming back to me and I'll start remembering it. If I remember anything specific, then I'll go into Google and I'll be like, the dream meaning of this, dream meaning of a hat, dream meaning of this, and it's always super accurate. It's to the point of what my subconscious is like battling at the moment, because that's what dreams are there for our subconscious to filter out and de-stress ourselves. And yeah, I do that every day.
Now, okay, this is something else I wanted to ask you, because I especially in the world of the internet and streaming, whenever you were doing your readings, a few years back, you were doing live sessions, which you think you're, probably going to start doing again. How do you feel like it's tough to connect, or do you have pretty success rate when you do your one-on-one readings with people? So
yeah, pretty much. I don't have a problem with it. It usually happens right away.
And you usually pick up on the same vibe, the same aura type of thing, through streaming as you would in person.
It's incredible. Yes, you can do it through online. And like a lot of my lives, these are people I don't go to their Facebook page. I don't see them. I don't know nothing about them. Like, I'll just see their name.
I mean, there's people just there in the feed popping up, and you're just doing your thing. Yeah. I've seen it.
Yeah. And you have to ask me. I'm not just going to see you and read you. You have to ask me to, like, it comes to me, right? And you have to give me permission. So like, I'll say, if I see you, I read you, all you have to do is ask. So people, say, read me or whatever. And then I'll just pick one. Like, I'll look up and I'll pick one. The first one that I see, that's it. And then as soon as that happens, I'm like connected to it. And then it goes, and whatever I say. If someone like asks to do a private reading, which are usually about 45 minutes long or so, as I'm getting ready, as soon as I know I'm gonna do the reading, everything that happens up to setting up is a message. It's nuts. Like, I'll start getting thoughts and feelings and all this stuff as I'm just like setting up and getting ready, or like whatever. As soon as I know I'm doing the reading, I'm getting ready for the reading. Everything that happens right up to the reading is part of the reading, because I connect. And
now, okay, I do not want to put you on the spot. Are you able to do a quick little reading?
Yeah, I can do a reading.
For me?
Sure. Was it going to be peace, lilies, and popcorn again? Everything is good here. But yeah, I can. All right. So we're going to start off with an oracle card. I'll do a quick one. I won't do like full on blast one, but oh wow, this is the second time this one came up. When I pulled a card I pulled an oracle card for this reading. All right. This is the one that it was. It is release, declutter, heart chakra. And every time I see this one, I get this card, I picture a chest cavity with a stairwell in it and a little maid going up through it, dusting everything. So it's like cleaning, releasing, getting things off your chest, releasing and decluttering the things, the spider webs, cleaning out your heart space. Okay. This is your heart chakra. All right. Now, oh, you got the star. That's innovation, thinking outside the box, being innovative. And yeah, the 8 of stencils, that's learning, going to school. And the 10 of spray cans. See this one? All right, 0 likes, 0. This is also the 10 of swords. So this 10 of swords, it's like everything that's weighing you down, your thoughts. Swords to me are thoughts. Okay. So I knew this was going to be a reading too. That's fucked up. Like, and I say that because when I pulled this, I got a mini like reading of this, and this is your cards. Okay. So being very innovative, wanting to be the star, right? 8 of stencils, learning how to be that and creating your own banner. All right, I just read that. And then this, okay. It has 0, like 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. You're thinking you're gonna fail on it. And looking for learning how to do things a specific way, like educating yourself on how to be innovative and how to look outside of the box to become a star, right? And then the papa of spray cans. I love this, okay? Because if I was going to be a king or queen, it would be of the swords, which is what this is, the king of swords, because they don't lie. They're very honest. They're truthful. They just know things. They have an intuition that they're told things like, you know, medium shit, like you just know. So I'm going to do one more. You're shitting me. The fucking magician. It's a magician, but it's upside down. All right. So that means that you feel as though you're missing an element. All right. There's something that like kick it off, you know, make it like to complete it. And I feel like I could keep on going because I feel like I'm going to keep on searching for the answers of like, if I just keep on learning about this and if I just keep on learning about this, it'll blow up. It'll blow up. It'll blow up. What's the missing element? I gotta look at it through this card. Oh, shit. Okay. The King of Cups in reverse. All right. And the Brother of Buckets in reverse. Getting super emotional over shit. That's player action. So it's like letting feelings getting involved. Don't let feelings get involved. Don't let feelings get involved. Because shit will get fucked up. And I know, okay, it's releasing declutter. So it's wanting to express all your shit, you know, get it off your chest because you'll feel bad. But then you feel like little dick energy after you do so. It's like talking about your feelings. When it comes to business, you don't want to do that, but you want to educate yourself and do it right.
Oh, I love that. That is really
Use your intuition.
You're hitting.
Yeah,
something.
I know that sounds so cheesy.
No, I can totally relate to everything that you're saying right now. Everything that you're saying, I totally relate to that. It's so crazy. But
be a little cold too when you're using it. Like don't fuck around because the 10 of spray cans is upright, even though it's like, oh, 0, like 0, all that. It's upright. That means that you're gonna be saying some stuff that's real. That's right, you know?
Yeah.
So I mean.
Well, let me ask you this real quick. And because we do have our number one question asker right here, Live Light, who we so adore here at Beyond the Tinfoil Hat. Can you do a really quick something small reading for her, maybe? With the
for Liv? All these great first. And the Banksy deck. This deck is so cool. Like, all right, I looked at the bottom of the deck. Oh, a card just like flipped out. So I'm gonna go with the bottom of the deck. The bottom of the deck is the Queen of Spray Cans, which is the Queen of Swords. So if I was going to be a king or a queen, it would be of the swords because they don't lie. They don't fluff shit up. The Queen of Swords, though, she's seen some fucking shit. She's a little cold. She's a little like, she don't fluff shit up. So like, she'll tell you that the fire is hot. And if you touch the fire, she's going to look at you and be like, dumbass, I told you it was hot. You know, no sympathy, nothing. You fucking knew better. These are the 9 of stencils, okay? The 9 of stencils is your self-abundance, and this one came flying out at me, and it landed on the table. So it's being self-sufficient. I see a lot of strong, independent woman energy. Jeez. Sister of stencils. A strong, independent woman. Learning and educating yourself about finances. The sister of brushes. Are you shitting me? Strong, independent woman. All right. Now, she's picking her nose, okay? There's a little bit of immaturity, too, with it. The Sister of Brushes is, like, learning how to, like, what your passions actually are. The 8 of Buckets, all right? And this is if you get the feeling to walk away, walk away. It doesn't mean that you have to always walk away and stay away. You have to walk away, think about why you're getting the feeling of leaving, and then make a solid decision. It's like take a break. If you feel like this isn't right for me, leave. Then, you know, take some time to make a solid decision. Don't make a hasty decision on something. And then if you feel like you want to go back, then you can go back. But Otherwise, don't. And I feel like you feel like this. Are you trying to like educate yourself on how to like? Are you trying to be like a financial advisor or something like that, or like go to school to like educate yourself so like you could do something on your own, but something about it, the way you're going about it, doesn't feel right. So listen to yourself and think about it. And then usually when you take a step back, you can think about a way of like solving the nation. Maybe you don't have to like drop the whole project all at once. Like take a minute to figure out how you can fix that one little fucking thing. Because like you got some serious like go-getter energy. So don't throw it away just because you want to walk away.
Totally. Hey, that's now, like I said, I know live by her awesome questions here, but she does sound like she's got go-getter energy. I would totally agree with that.
There's so many females. There's even a female in this. Like that's the 9 of stencils, look at that. So.
Well, I tell you what, Vanessa, let's do this. First of all, this has been great. I love talking to you. We need to talk more. We need to stay in, I know you're busy and we both stay pretty busy. Is there anywhere that maybe, the viewers and the listeners can maybe follow you or learn more about you, maybe check out some readings? Where can we find the funny Vanessa, amazing Vanessa Claire?
Stop it. You stop it right now. Yes, I do. I have I'm on YouTube, Vanessa Claire 999 on YouTube, on Instagram, and on the TikTok. On YouTube there are playlists and I have tons of readings and they're all timeless. It's not like this is, if you're drawn to a reading, go to it. If it says Capricorn and you're Scorpio, but you're drawn to it, go to that one. There's a fucking message in there for you. Like that's trusting your instinct. That usually you'll find, something in there. And then I also have Vanessa Claire Comedy on TikTok, where I put little bits of skits or sketches and comedy shows that I've done on that. And then the rest of it, I just shit post. So.
And now you do say like you're in the Vermont area. Now, if we do have any listeners or viewers out here, maybe that come through here in the Vermont.
Yes.
Did you say you started you're hosting an open mic out there, correct?
Yes, out in Southern Vermont where we don't have no comedy. We're doing comedy at the Latches Underground Pub every first Wednesday of the month. Started as of right now. It's fairly new. We just started it. So hopefully we can do it every Wednesday. But for right now, it's every first Wednesday of the month. At Latches Pub and Grill.
And what part of Vermont is this?
In Brattleboro, Vermont. No, yeah, that's
okay. So
it's Southern Vermont.
In the woods there, and I know Vermont's got good cheese too, right? Aren't they good cheese there? Get you some cheese, get you some awesome open mic comedy, and you definitely, if you're out there, it's Vanessa Claire. You said 999
on everything. Yep.
Okay, and that covers it all, correct? That's Instagram, TikTok, YouTube.
All of it.
Vanessa Claire 999. Give her a follow, guys, and you won't be disappointed. She's really talented at tarot card, and she's also very funny. You need to check out her comedy as well. Vanessa, thank you so much for coming on Beyond the Tinfoil Hat. This has been a blast.
Thank you so much, Danny. I had so much fun. This is awesome. I appreciate it.
Definitely. We'll talk to you soon.
Yes. Thank you.
All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed that episode with Vanessa Claire. I love it when she does the tarot readings. That hit home with me. Liv says that hit home with her. It's it's always a fun time with Vanessa. Like I said, if you get a chance, be sure to give her a follow. Vanessa Claire 999 on YouTube, Instagram, all the platforms, TikTok. Get your reading and also get you some ha-has in and listen to her jokes. Guys, we will be back next Thursday with John Miller. And from what I know so far about John's got the UFO and I guess Christianity mix. So a very interesting conversation coming up with that. That just sounds very interesting to me. So I can't wait to talk to John Miller next week here on Beyond the Tinfoil Hat. If you guys have not done so, head over to theexperiencersupport.org. Check out the articles that Ryan Stacy is putting out there. if you need to reach out to Ryan about an experience that you had, feel free, go for it. Ryan would love to hear your story. If you guys have not made it over to patreon.com/heedtheworld, go over there now, donate $4, and then you get, to see a really cool article that's about to drop with some very interesting UFO news. And from what I hear, this is a bombshell. This is a biggie. So for $4, Patreon-Heed the World. I mean, that's a no-brainer. Check it out, especially if you're interested in UFO up-to-date stuff that's going on. But I'll tell you what, guys, this has been a blast. Amazing questions. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening. And we'll be back next Thursday. And I said I had a big announcement, but I'm going to wait till next Thursday to make this huge announcement for the podcast. But like always, guys, keep the paranormal normal. I'm Danny Whitson, and I'll see you guys next time. All right, that does it for this episode of Beyond the Tinfoil Hat. A big shout out for tonight's awesome guest, and a bigger shout out for everyone who tuned in. And if you haven't done so yet, be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube or wherever it is you listen to your podcasts. And like always, be sure to stay curious, heed the world, and keep the paranormal normal. I'm your host, Danny Whitson, and this has been Beyond the Tinfoil Hat.